Kimi K3 gives you 1 million tokens at a flat rate, no tier gating, while Claude locks that same window behind enterprise access and charges a premium for it. 95 cents per task on Kimi K3, verified by artificial analysis. And Claude doesn't even publish a number. Both models just dropped major updates, and builders are picking sides right now. So the timing actually matters. I'm running Kimi K3 versus Claude across 5 real tests: context window, web search, reasoning, pricing, and multilingual support. And every claim is traced to a source, no vendor money involved. Now, the model that wins on raw context size and transparent pricing isn't automatically the one you should route your most expensive high-stakes tasks through, and that gap between the two might cost you more than you'd expect. So I'll show you exactly where. All right, so this one's for builders, researchers, and anyone running long documents or agentic workflows through an API. If you're paying per token, the difference between a transparent pricing page and a mystery bill can wreck your unit economics fast, and getting this choice wrong is a real budget problem, not just an annoyance. Test 1, context window and long document handling. So picture feeding a full code base or 100-page research report into a model, and you hit the context ceiling halfway through, the model just starts dropping earlier content, and you don't even know it happened until the output is wrong. And that silent truncation is the failure mode here, and it's a real one. Okay, so what I looked at, Kimi K3 ships with a 1 million token standard window, no extra charge, open to all users, while Claude's standard window is 200,000 tokens, and the 1 million beta is locked behind usage tier 4 with premium pricing on top. Kimi also hits a 92% cache hit rate on coding workloads, which is honestly pretty wild for repeated queries. I was expecting this to be closer, honestly, but the gap is pretty clear. Kimi K3 takes context window because you get 5 times more tokens at the same price, day one, no approval process, and that 92% cache hit rate just adds to it. Kimi K3 goes up 1-0 on the scoreboard. Test 2, real-time web search. When a model answers from stale training data on a question that changed last week, you get confidently wrong output, you ship it, someone catches it, and now you're the person who didn't fact check. So knowing what a search call actually costs you is part of avoiding that whole situation. What surprised me here is how different the transparency is. Kimi K3 charges exactly 0.4 cents per search invocation, right there in the docs, but Claude has a built-in search tool with citations and domain filtering, which is genuinely useful, and I couldn't find a published cost score anywhere. So both tools work, but only one tells you what you're paying. Take this with a grain of salt before I call it though. Claude's search tool has domain filtering controls that Kimi doesn't show, so if you need to restrict results to specific sources, Claude's actually more capable there. And the real difference comes down to whether you can plan your costs around it, which right now only one of them lets you do. I was expecting Kimi to win this cleanly on price, but Claude's built-in citations and domain controls make it genuinely competitive for research workflows. So both get the job done in different ways, and I'm calling it even. Running score, Kimi K3 1, Claude 0, 1 tied. Test 3, reasoning depth and complex problem solving. So the thing about reasoning modes is if a model burns over 13,000 thinking tokens on a short task because it can't turn off its reasoning engine, your costs balloon fast on high volume workflows. And that's a real bill showing up at the end of the month, not a theoretical one. Kimi K3 runs 3 effort levels: standard, high, and max, but it's always thinking, so it can burn 13,000 plus tokens even on short prompts, while Claude's extended thinking is tunable through prompts and tends to be more methodical and cautious. And because no direct head-to-head benchmark exists, I'm being honest that this is a style comparison, not a score. Honestly, the reasoning comparison depends a lot on your use case. Kimi's always-on thinking is great when you want depth without having to engineer the prompt, but it's overkill for simple tasks, and the token cost adds up, and Claude's methodical style is slower but more reliable when a wrong answer is actually expensive, like in safety critical or compliance work. I was expecting one of these to pull ahead on benchmarks, but there's no direct comparison I could verify, so I'm not going to fake a winner. Both bring strong reasoning in different styles, and I'm splitting it down the middle. That puts us at Kimi K3 1, Claude 0, 2 tests tied. Test 4, API cost and pricing transparency. So if you're building a product and you can't find your model's output token price on a public page, you're basically pulling a lever on a slot machine every month. You can't forecast costs, you can't set budgets, and you definitely can't explain the bill to anyone else on your team. Kimi K3 is fully public. $3 per million input tokens, $15 per million output tokens, 30 cents per million cached input tokens, and 95 cents per completed task, according to artificial analysis. But Claude's pricing is a different story because I could not find a verified public source, so I'm not putting a number on it. Now, to be fair, Claude's pricing might actually be comparable once you dig into it. And community reports suggest it's in the same ballpark, but I can't score what I can't verify. And if you're a startup watching unit economics closely, the site that publishes its numbers is a site you can actually plan around. And right now, That's only one of them. I was expecting to crown a clear winner here, but without a verified Claude price to compare against, I can't call it fairly. So Kimi K3 is transparent, Claude isn't publicly documented, and I'm marking it even on the scoreboard. That's Kimi K3 1, Claude 0, 3 tied now. Test 5, multilingual support. So if you're building for a non-English audience and the model degrades in quality outside of English, your users feel it before you do, you get weird phrasing, missed context, or just wrong translations. And by the time you catch it, trust is already gone. What surprised me here is that there's basically nothing to show because I looked everywhere, and neither Kimi K3 nor Claude has published sourced benchmarks. On non-English performance, community sentiment exists, but I'm not scoring on vibes. So if multilingual quality matters to your workflow, you'll have to get your hands dirty and test it yourself. I was expecting at least one of them to have some published data here. And honestly, neither did. So no verified benchmarks for either side means no winner. And I'm not picking one. Final running score, Kimi K3 1, Claude 0, 4 tests tied across the board. Kimi K3 wins on access and cost clarity. You get 1 million tokens standard, no tier approval needed, no surcharge. The caching hits 92% on coding workloads, so repeated queries get cheap fast. And the pricing page is right there, $3 in, $15 out, 95 cents per task, which means you can actually build a budget around that. Claude wins when the stakes of a wrong answer are high. Its methodical, cautious reasoning style is genuinely better for safety-critical work. The built-in web search with citations and domain filtering is more capable than Kimi's search tool for research workflows, and its extended thinking is tunable through prompts, which can actually save you tokens on tasks that don't need full depth. Honestly, I went in thinking this would be closer, and the 1-0 score with 4 ties tells you it kind of is. So here's the decision rule. If you need a big context window, transparent pricing, and cheap repeated queries, go Kimi K3. 95 cents per task is your number. And if you need cautious reasoning for high-stakes work or a search tool with domain controls, go Claude.